Hey, welcome to the NerdPub podcast, where you can come grab a drink and join us for some nerd talk. My name is Blaine.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're going to be talking about the Skywalker Saga, so some Star Wars for you.
That's right, we'll be talking about episodes 1 through 8. 9 is actually joining us this Friday in theaters, and me and Blaine and my wife, which is his sister, is actually going to be going to see that, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It'll be fun.
But for today, we were hoping to talk about episodes 1 through 8, like some of our favorite or least favorite, or what we thought the best and worst parts of it are, and maybe some speculation on what we think 9 will be, or maybe even the future of Star Wars post episode 9. So yeah, I think the Skywalker Saga as a whole, definitely there was it has its strengths and weaknesses. I think the best episode out of all of them, though, is probably still, to this day, Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5.
Yeah, I mean, we may have some slight differences. I don't disagree that it's, at least, if it's not my favorite, it would be my second favorite. But I also really liked Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say which one's the favorite. Definitely should be probably the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But I know that there's been a lot of crap that's been given towards the prequels.
Yeah, I remember growing up, everybody was just, hating on The Phantom Menace, but, recently it celebrated its 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
And there was multiple YouTube channels that were praising it,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, I mean, what I don't even remember the actor's name, Anakin Skywalker.
I don't remember that one either.
But sure, he wasn't the best of actors, but I mean, episode 1 first off brought you Darth Maul.
Yeah,
which, let's be honest,
one of the best villains in any saga or any series ever. And then you also have pod racing, which who didn't like? I know for PlayStation 2, the pod racing game. I never played it.
It was so fun, man. Next to Crash Team Racing, that was my favorite game.
Yeah, like I said, it definitely I rewatched it recently, The Phantom Menace, and honestly, it was one of those new special editions one where, you had the original, but then they did it again.
Right.
But it was actually not bad. Once they got rid of all of the weirdness, like that puppet Yoda, and then
when they went to the CGI.
Yeah, and then they added some extra scenes in the pod racing scene. Yeah. That was pretty great, and it was not a bad movie. And honestly, no. I rewatched Attack of the Clones, and I was like, man, Phantom Menace may be better than this one. But
okay, so now that we're on episode 1, I wasn't going to bring this up this soon, but what do you think about the theory that Jar Jar Binks was a Sith Lord? I knew you were going to say
whether he was a Sith Lord or not, he actually did what he was probably going to do either way, or what his purpose was either way, and help bring the destruction of the Jedi. I think it's just more comical that he's not a Sith Lord, because now he just kind of did it on accident.
Right, yeah, for him it was accidental. But...
Because, it was him in episode 2, you can tell that Palpatine, and I can't remember
he's the one pushing for Palpatine to go into power.
Yeah, because... Palpatine was having some conversation with his assistant or whatever his name was, and he was saying, if only there was some way that we could help everybody, and then Jar Jar was like, ooh, I got an idea, and then 3 years later, Jedi dead,
Yeah, I know.
But I didn't. Once I heard that, I didn't like it at all.
A little skeptical about the idea of him being a Sith Lord, but
yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's not everyone has their opinions to things, but yeah. So we'll get off of that part because that was one of the biggest factors of people hating Episode 1 was that.
Mm-hmm.
Was Jar Jar Binks himself. And that's fine. But with that said, okay, so now we're on like the prequels right now with Palpatine. I just saw this thing on Facebook, and it was saying that, because I haven't seen the trailer for Episode 9 yet, but they were saying that, Oh,
you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen the trailer with the Palpatine
talking
to, Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And, the theory that I was reading about it was that, he was the voice behind everything.
Oh, yeah,
and, he was the Vader voice.
Yeah, he was, and Kylo Ren's burnt-up Vader mask he has. Yeah, I heard that, too. Honestly, I have been staying completely away from... I saw 2 of the trailers, maybe a couple of TV spots, and that was it. I want to go into this thing as completely surprised as I can, but...
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've read on it. I haven't seen any of the trailers. I don't have TV. I just use Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu, so...
I will say this, though, when it comes to Palpatine in the prequel era, they didn't do a very good job about making sure that, there was no surprise that was the Emperor. And, I know that there probably wasn't supposed to be, but,
Yeah, well, because you also have to remember they got the same actor.
Yeah.
From episodes, 4 through 6, or 5 and 6, I guess.
Yeah.
But they had the same actor. So... if you had seen those, if you knew anything, you already knew.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that was the same actor until I was
really
early.
Later.
Yeah, because most of those videos came out when I was probably maybe early teens.
Right.
And that was before I discovered IMDb or something like that.
Right. Yeah, back when we were teenagers, that wasn't exactly a thing, but. Yeah, I just feel like they were aware that people were already kind of aware that Palpatine was what he was, and I feel like there have been so many things that were already in place from the original trilogy that it was it wasn't a matter of who's going to be the villain, it's how are they going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to watch.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another worst thing about the prequel era, what's weird, it may not even have been his fault, but I was going back and forth on Hayden Christensen as Anakin.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching some of the Clone Wars animated TV show.
Yeah.
I like that actor. I liked that approach to Anakin. He's less, I don't like sand. He's more...
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. I think... don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Natalie Portman. If she ever...
Yeah, she did good.
Yeah, if she was to ever, leave her husband, give me a call. But, other than that, though, some of the acting choices I thought wouldn't have been my choices, primarily Hayden Christensen. You have probably the best Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, well. Yeah, absolutely.
And then, Mace Windu, being Samuel L. Jackson, also pretty valid choice. But, yeah, Hayden Christensen, I don't know. I feel like he's just not my pick, on most acting things. I feel like he's slightly limited on his...
However, I will say this, when it came to the lightsaber combat, he pulled it off.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
Yeah. Well, and nowadays he's not even acting anymore.
I thought he was. I thought I saw some stuff where he was acting again.
He might be again, but I know he went and he's been living on a farm.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that. But yeah, what I also liked about the prequel era, this happened in episode 2. It's kind of just realizing we haven't even touched on Qui-Gon Jinn yet.
Yeah, definitely. Good acting choice.
And we got Darth Maul, like the only person ever in cinema history to take down Liam Neeson.
Yeah, right.
But no, what I liked about the prequel era is that it gave us the face of Boba Fett, like because in episodes 5
Right.
and 6, like you didn't know, I mean,
Right.
what he looked like, and like they showed like what the actor that played him in the original trilogy looked like, and I mean he looked like he didn't look intimidating. I'll just say that.
Right.
But
Well, then you have. All right, I'm gonna get on that in a second. I agree with you. I don't want to jump back and forth too much because that was about to send me off into a tangent on the Mandalorian. But we're on the Skywalker Saga.
right.
Sticking there. So let's see, who was the actor for Jango Fett?
His name was... Ooh, I can't even pronounce
Because
it.
Boba Fett was just a clone.
I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. I think it's Tamara Morrison.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
Temuera.
yeah. But, apologize if I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, that was the actor that played Jango Fett. And they actually redubbed his voice to Boba Fett in the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, in episode 5 and...
5 and 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So, out of all the first three episodes 1 through and 3, which one would you say is your favorite?
1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
It oh gosh. I
I know
know.
it's
1 or 3 probably. I wasn't too enthralled with episode 2.
yeah. I 2 actually used to be my favorite when I was
Really?
a kid. I liked Count Dooku. That's why. But-
Okay, and I was fine with Count Dooku. I mean, I liked a lot of the things about episode 3 just because it wrapped everything up, and Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was a lot of lightsaber fights.
yeah,
There
tons of
was-
lightsaber. I mean, you had Yoda
Versus the
Yeah.
Emperor,
Yeah.
Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan versus General Grievous.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of lightsaber action, which,
which is always. I mean, it's Star Wars. Let's be honest.
yeah.
We're not just there for the storyline. We're there for lightsaber battles. But yeah, it'd either be 1 or 3, and because I mean, again, you had Darth Maul, you had Qui-Gon Jinn, pod racing, which I still like. I still like that the whole time. I did not think it took away from the movie.
Right.
But yeah, and one or the other, I'm not sure. You have a favorite?
I would probably have to say 3, and then 1, and then 2. I mean, if I have to categorize them or put them in order.
Yeah.
But I liked the emotion behind episode 3. I mean, even though
Yeah.
you knew Anakin was going to be Darth
You
Vader.
knew what was going to happen, but you still... I mean, it still brought tears.
Yeah. I mean, I do try to comfort him, Anakin, though. Like, when he got burned alive, I'm like, at least it's not sand, but,
All right. Yeah, enjoy that.
But, no, I mean, like, and you could tell, like, after that fight with Obi-Wan, or after that fight with Anakin, like, Obi-Wan was just, like, that was not going to sit well for him, like...
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean... How would it sit well with anyone? I mean...
and then you went straight from that to Padme dying. And
Yep.
which, actually, speaking of which, there's actually I can't remember if it was supposed to be the original plan or if I just maybe heard someone giving a theory about it on YouTube or something like that, but there was like a theory that Palpatine, like, manipulated the Force and killed Padme, like, while she was in childbirth. And, like, that's kind of why he was, like, when Darth Vader was like, no, she's dead,
Yeah.
That's why he was kind of, like, in the back there going...
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you killed him.
Like Montgomery Burns, excellent,
Right. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, well, and I mean... It doesn't not make sense. Like... Because, they were like... She died of a broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But and like dying during childbirth, I don't think would be that common for that time.
Mm-hmm.
With the technology that they had, even though it was a galaxy far, far away a long time ago, they still have higher technology than we do. I feel like she wouldn't have actually died in childbirth, so I think I understand.
Or maybe died because of childbirth.
Right?
Yeah.
She died in childbirth, but not. I don't think she would have died because of it. So I can see that theory working.
Or it could have been like maybe. I mean, we don't really know like the extent of the damage like Anakin put her through when he force choked her. So maybe he did.
I mean, maybe he like.
I mean, maybe
he just messed up her throat.
But I mean, that's just. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the died of a broken heart thing, but
yeah, I mean, and everything else is real speculation. I mean, we don't really know. But,
yeah, no.
But anyway, I think it all worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here now. We're about to go see episode 9 in a week. It's like I think it's all working out.
Yeah. With that said, let's move on to episodes 4, 5, and 6. You're going to think this is kind of weird. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I know it's because mostly everybody's favorite, but I wouldn't, like, A New Hope is actually, I like 5, 6, and 4. Like, that's probably my order. Like, New Hope was my least favorite out of all of them. And it's probably because it was just, maybe it was slower than most of but it's still great.
Yeah, and I don't know if I disagree with your choice in numbers. I feel like I probably liked 5 and 6 more than I liked A New Hope for the same reasons. And I mean, who doesn't love Ewoks?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like 4 was a little slow. I mean, it was great. It was obviously good enough to bring us sequels.
Mm-hmm.
That in turn good enough to bring us the whole universe that we have of Star Wars now.
Yeah, I mean it grew like
so
drastically.
It was all based off of that one movie. So yeah, I mean it was definitely good, but in comparison, yeah, I'd prefer probably 5 and episodes like Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Though I think one reason why I didn't like episode 4 as much is it's probably that fight scene between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Because, I mean, you got like one of the world's most skilled swordsmen and strongest Jedi masters, and he's just kind of like going, just kind of like...
Yeah, but I mean, you also have to remember this movie was made...
But yeah.
In, I mean, what, the 70s? Like,
yeah.
Well, there was so, like... I mean, it was revolutionary in technology for what it was. But it was like the original Tron,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at that compared to what we have now, like even with Tron Legacy, it's like it's just night and day difference on the capabilities that they have. But that's what they had back then,
Yeah.
It's like, and as far as getting an old guy to duel in a lightsaber battle, I mean that's about what you're gonna get back in the 70s, like.
Yeah, there's some people on YouTube that actually reshot or re-edited that themselves.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah, I mean that was
really good.
Yeah, it did. That was I can't remember the name of it. I showed it to Kelsey, and I just thought like you could actually see like Obi-Wan struggling to keep up with Darth Vader, and it kind of showed more how strong Darth Vader had become through the dark side. And I was just
right. Well, and I mean, yeah, and if you look at Darth Vader throughout any period of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up what the name of that video was.
Yeah, but like looking at Vader, any of the video games or the series, if you see him, I mean he was a monster. He was.
Oh, it's SC-38 reimagined is what Star Wars SC-38 reimagined and.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it looked really good with what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, with as much as with all the fixes that they do, or like retouches, with episode 1 taking out, the Muppet Yoda,
Yeah.
like taking out things and like getting better versions. I don't see why they wouldn't fix that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe just because it's the original. You know, I don't know if I would want to step on toes with the original very much. You know, I mean, they remastered it before, but changing stuff in it.
Oh, speaking of change, they actually changed it again. Like
Which one?
Episode 4. Like,
really?
It's that scene with Han Solo and Greedo at the cantina. I think it was part of the... I can't remember. I thought I remember hearing someone say about it. Like, it was part of the original shot, and I guess Disney added it back. But it's when Han's kind of starting to go for his gun.
Yeah.
And Greedo says, I have been looking forward to this for some time. And Han's like, yeah, I bet you have. You hear Greedo say, McClunky. And then that's when they shoot each other. And I'm like, it's not subtitled, so you don't know what he says. I'm wondering if he's just, like, I thought that he was kind of saying, like hasta la vista or something like that. But, So, yeah, they changed it again. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad change. I mean...
Right. Well, and you know, honestly, like, a different fight scene wouldn't be bad either. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know how much you're willing to touch on the original, you know.
Yeah, the original trilogy, you know, it's classic.
It's a little somewhat sacred, like, to, you know, at least the older Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I mean, because it's been touched up, like, so many times. Like, I mean, in Episode 4, Jabba used to be a man, stuff like that.
Right.
But, and, like, like, I don't remember any other type of movie series being edited the way it has been. Like, that's, like, one of them that's, like, they're constantly making edits just to try to make it better.
Yeah.
That kind of just shows how sacred it, like, as you said it was, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean,
amongst, you know...
Yeah, let's be honest about the whole Star Wars...
film industry, yeah.
Comparatively to anything else, look at the fans. You know, I mean, you have Marvel fans now, but... I mean, you've always had comic book fans, but you've never had, like, you know, Comic-Con and stuff was never as big with the comic book people until, you know, like, when was it? 2008? The Iron Man came out?
Yeah, around then.
You know, like...
I believe so, 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I mean, after that, you know, it just explodes. But before that, yeah, you had people who read comics, but it was never as, like... highly viewed upon, you know, like...
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
you had, you know, people who liked the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire in them, but other than that, you really didn't have much. You have the year 2000 Hulk movie, The Incredible Hulk, or whatever it was, but... I mean,
the one with Eric Bana?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one directed by Ang Lee. Yeah, that was...
Yeah. But, you know, you didn't see much with it. But with the Star Wars... I mean, basically since day one, like, within the first three, the trilogy, the original, whenever they first all came out, I mean, you had diehard fans for this.
Yeah, and I mean, they tried to keep it going after Return of the Jedi with, like, books and comics.
Yep. And they did. Like, I mean, enough to...
Yeah, Star Wars Legends, yeah.
Yeah, it's still here today, so...
Yeah.
It's just a different series.
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's not, like, or like you were saying, sorry, there's not much that you can say is wrong with the original trilogy. I mean, it's classic. I mean, sure, there's, you know, weird moments, but, like, I mean, that's Star Wars. I mean, there's going to be weird moments, yeah.
Every movie ever has, you know, things that maybe could have gone better, but...
Here's one change that I'm glad they did. I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion, but after the Rebels have won, you know, they've killed the Emperor, they destroyed the Death Star again in Return of the Jedi. I like that music that was changed. Like, originally it was going to be the Ewoks music.
Right.
But then John Williams, I think, wrote a victory celebration, and I think it made it more... I guess nostalgic in a way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with that you heard, like, you could definitely tell, like, you can hear a hint of relief from the war and a hint of victory in it too. So.
Right.
But
Speaking of John Williams, I really appreciate that they have kept John Williams.
Yes.
Through every movie.
Yes.
At least in Skywalker Saga. I mean, you know, Mandalorian has some.
Here,
he's German or I don't know. I looked him up the other day, but he's not. It's not John Williams, and it's much different music, but at least with the Skywalker Saga, keeping up with just having John Williams through it all.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because Harry Potter didn't. You know, Harry Potter, I think he was the composer for
Ludwig Göransson, I think his name is.
Yeah, Göransson.
I think.
Yeah.
We might have butchered that name, but...
but yeah, no, you know, it's... But, you know, it's definitely not... He's not in every Star Wars thing, but within the Skywalker Saga, he's always there.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Harry Potter, they stopped. You know, they got someone else. I think it was for the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
I think that was the start of having a different composer. And I don't know, I feel like composers for me are kind of like actors. If you're going to have a trilogy or a series, I like keeping with the same music.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I was actually thinking the other day, like, Star Wars has had many different directors. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had, you know, George Lucas, we've had J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, but I feel like John Williams, like we can have the story down great, but it's really John Williams' music to me that really captures, you know, Star Wars for us. And
yeah, and
I think because I loved when they first played the, you know, ba-na-na-na-na-na, like whenever Luke is looking at the twin sons. Yeah. And then, you know, he does that again, like in The Last Jedi when he becomes one with the Force. I just felt like, I mean, that part, I mean, even though I didn't really care for that ending for him, it you know, it moved me, I guess.
Right. Well, you know, and even having, you know, all these new directors coming in with these new movies and stuff, you always have the sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Every time you have that opening credit where you're like, dun, da da da, da da da, and then, you know, and then the whole movie though, it's like a subconscious nostalgia for you because you're still hearing John Williams.
And that's the part that everybody normally claps at, and like whenever the new movies come out.
Everyone gets so excited.
Yep. And
because it's starting, you know.
And like when me and Kelsey with some friends went to go see The Force Awakens when it came out, like oh man, like it brought, like they had everything at the theater. They had people dressing up as Jedis, and they had like an R2-D2 like rolling around, and you know, I mean, that was like a Star Wars heaven. And then when like when the opening crawl, that music popped up, like everybody was like, you know, clapping and
super
cheering.
Excited, because that's, I mean, it's iconic.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, so when I was younger, I had gotten a hold of John Williams' full discography. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was 10, 12 years ago, but I mean, it was like his discography was like 1,400 songs for different movies and stuff, if not more. I don't remember how many it was, but you know, and like, but it was like, I mean, he is just one of the most infamous composers for film ever.
I think our next episode needs to be about just his music, and
because like if you listen to it, you can actually hear, like, you know, like, once you start listening to John Williams versus other people, you can tell when it's John Williams.
Yeah.
You know, in any movie, if you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to invoke emotion without people knowing that you're doing it. You know, and I think that's a trait of a beautiful composer. And that's what he does with us in Star Wars. Yeah,
I mean, like, Rogue One had a different composer, but they played some of John Williams' themes, and then instantly you're like, oh, they're...
Yeah, and it's like, you immediately know it's him again, you know?
But...
Well, you know, I don't know what else you have right now, but...
Well, I was hoping to touch on what you thought, like, of the current Disney trilogy. and then or the current movies that Disney has produced. Like not talking about Rogue One or Solo or anything.
Like
but,
7, 8, 9.
Yeah, 7 and 8, and just real quick, and maybe I don't know, maybe plans post episode 9. So. There's been a lot of hate about episodes 7 and 8, and mostly 8. I mean, 7 was good in my opinion. I mean, The Force Awakens.
Well, and honestly, watching 8 as well, I thought 8 was like episode 2.
Yeah, I can.
You know what I mean by that? I enjoyed 7. It brings us into this new realm, and then 8 comes in, and I feel like it's a lot like Attack of the Clones, and then I feel like 9, they really better do it, because this is supposed to be the end of this.
Yeah, I heard it's gonna be a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, well, I will sit there for 3 hours and watch it thoroughly.
I will hold it. I will hold my bladder.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, bring a colostomy bag if I have to, or whatever it's called. But I will sit there and I will wait. Because it better be good. Because this is the end of an era.
Yeah.
Of Skywalker. I mean, it maybe not. We don't know. But this is supposed to be it. And so I feel like this is going to be kind of the Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi. This is going to be the big finish, And I feel like Episode 8 was just, let's set up a little more.
Yeah.
And let's kind of get them ready for the next movie.
I mean, even Mark Hamill kind of, as voiced his opinions about Episode 8. I mean, Luke Skywalker himself, but it's just, I mean, there were some things about it like that. I mean, when you brought in Episode 7 and you brought in Rey, no one knows who she is. Everybody at first suspected, oh, that could be Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Right,
but
or, maybe she was
a Kenobi.
Yeah, Kenobi, or, made out of the Force, or, people had all this speculation, and then it's oh, she was sold off for, drug money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, because that just shows you don't have to be a Skywalker or a Kenobi to be special in Star Wars.
It's true.
And
but it's still the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, I mean, and we're finishing it off really with Kylo Ren, and that's a lot of people are I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a phrase going around there called Ben-demption, redemption, but for Ben Solo.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be redeeming himself. I think he's content with who he is.
Yeah.
He still seems conflicted, he knows he's doing the wrong thing, but I don't know. I
don't know. I don't know where he's going to come in, where he's going to go with this, because in Episode 8, he was pretty set on, I'm going to protect Rey.
Excuse me.
Because I want her to join me in ruling the galaxy.
It's 3 o'clock.
My clock
If anyone wants to know, it's 3 o'clock.
My computer just told me that.
Yeah, Central Time. but yeah, he was pretty set on, I want to rule the galaxy. But again, we don't know if, if he's still being manipulated by someone.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even...
Because even though Snoke is supposedly gone, he was killed, we don't know if there wasn't someone else.
Yeah, I think...
And we don't know much about Snoke anyways.
Yeah, the rumor is, though, that I think Palpatine has been pulling the strings.
Right, and that's what I was mentioning earlier, way earlier.
But that's kind of weird, because I have heard in Star Wars, I think I've read somewhere that dark side users can't become Force ghosts after they died. But there has been, in the Darth Vader comic, it talks about this ancient Sith Lord that possessed an object of his. His name was Lord Momin or something like that. And
also though,
so maybe
I know that Anakin came back, and that's when he was became a Force ghost.
Yeah, because
but he still used the dark side a lot.
Yeah,
and also you have to think about Palpatine was, under Sith Lord, what's his name?
Plagueis.
Darth
Plagueis. I actually read that book recently.
Yeah, so and supposedly he could bring people back to life, this and that, and people, that's been another thought or rumor was that he's found out how to be immortal. Kind of thing.
Yeah, like, I think maybe he can't become a Force ghost, but maybe he's like another type of ghost. Like, but he's maybe haunting like the remains of the shattered Death Star. But, I mean, in Legends, there's a comic book series that I read not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago. It was called Dark Empire, and it shows Palpatine coming back through cloning. Like, he transferred his essence to another one of his bodies. But I hope they don't do that. That's just...
Yeah, I mean, again, this Friday, we'll see.
Yeah.
But for now, let's just keep speculating and hope for the best. Hope for the best.
Yeah, even if Episode 9's not great, I'm still going to appreciate Star Wars for what it is. I mean...
I still love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And no one can help how much money Disney has. You know, like, no one can help that.
I mean, like I said, I know they're talking about doing a Rian Johnson trilogy after this, and I was hoping that the writers of Game of Thrones would have stuck with it, because I heard that they resigned from Disney to work on some Netflix projects.
Really?
But they were going to do their own series of movies about, from what I remember hearing, about the origin of the Jedi, so maybe like Old Republic type stuff.
Okay.
Because they could probably pull it off with that type of style but hopefully they come back. I hope they do. But.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, I mean, I don't think this is the end for Star Wars. They make way too much money off of it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
and hopefully, my biggest hope and dream is, as long as they want to make money, that's fine. They're still going to make money. Just, you know, be tactful and, you know, stay true to what Star Wars is for the fans. You know, don't...
We're going to go to the Disney park, the Star Wars Disney park, even though we didn't like the movies. We're going to be like, I will come to your Star Wars park. I will enjoy it, but that doesn't mean I have to like your movies.
Yeah, like, just stay true to the fans, stay true to what Star Wars is, and then I'll be fine still paying money to watch it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to watch the movies, even though I still watch, like, Episode 1, 2, and 3, even though they're not the greatest in the film history of Star Wars, but I still watch them just because I love Star Wars for what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think we covered all that we'd like to talk about today, so we just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us on the first ever episode of the NerdPub podcast, and my name is Adam.
I'm Blaine.
And join us next time, but be sure to remember, join us again and grab a drink, and we'll talk more stuff, talk about more nerdy stuff.
And just one disclaimer, we will be trying to have video recording.
Oh yeah.
Coming next time, and hopefully we will be doing like a YouTube stream or of some sort doing that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and have a great day, and we will see you guys on our next episode.
Yeah, bye guys.